What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and today, as you can see by the title, we're going to talk about if you should stay with this guy or you should go, or if he's the right one for you, or whatever, right? Something along those lines. We'll kind of find it out when we're digging through this video. But basically, I want to, I'm going to give you some insight on how to make a better decision with your current situation right now, right? Maybe you're watching this and you're not knowing where to go or what you want to do. Like what's your next step. So I'm going to kind of give you what they call cognitive biases to help clear your mind and help you make the right decision. And if you guys don't know what those are, it's basically like actions, triggers, external events, whatever you want to call it, right? That kind of make you have a bias towards something. And I'm going to go over several of them in this video to make sure you make the right decision, because the worst thing you can possibly do is be with someone you don't want to be with just for X reason, right? Y reason. The worst thing you can possibly do, okay? So the first bias I want to talk about is what they call the blonde. Oh shit. The blind spot bias. And that's where you're not even conscious or aware of your own biased decisions, right? That's where you basically think, oh, I'm not biased, I'm this, I'm that. This isn't a biased decision. There's nothing that's making me biased towards this other than just, that I like him or X or Y or Z, whatever, right? And this is really bad because I feel like a lot of people are biased in their opinions for certain amount of reasons, which we'll go over in this video. But the first thing you need to do is to sit back and actually have an unbiased, like you actually have to tell yourself that you have to have an unbiased opinion on this topic. And a lot of people don't like to do that, or they don't do that because they feel like if they do it, they're not going to get the outcome or the answers they want, okay? Which will kind of go on to our next thing, which would be the zero risk bias, right? Zero risk. And that basically states that we love, as humans, we love certainty. We don't like taking risk. And that kind of goes with what I just said. It's like it would be like the person who wants to stay with their boyfriend just because, even though they're unhappy and they don't like the person, they want to stay with him because they don't want to be alone, okay? Like you feel like if you give this person up, you're going to be alone and you will never find someone else again. And the person who usually has the zero risk bias is someone who's pretty low confident, has low self-esteem, who doesn't have a lot of options. They're usually somebody who feels, once I get rid of this guy, I don't have the capabilities, the lifestyle, I already have a kid, or whatever the excuse is, right? I can't go out and find another guy like this one, right? So you're going to take the zero risk bias, which is where you're biased towards the decision of staying with your boyfriend, or in your current situation. It doesn't even have to be a boyfriend, right? Or it doesn't even have to be relationships, just anything in general. Of course, I'm a relationship coach, so we're going to talk about relationships. But it doesn't, it can be anything in general, but you want to stay with that because you don't want to face the other outcomes. You rather just stay in this situation that's probably going to make you miserable in the long run, just to avoid any risk of having nothing at all. And that's absolutely the worst way to live life, in my opinion. I believe life's all about taking risk. Life's all about taking chances. Life's all about growth. And the way I look at obstacles like that is, when you encounter something like that, like an obstacle, you're either going to crumble or conquer, right? You have to do what you have to do to get over it, and it's a challenge. And I think it's not so much a obstacle as much as it is a opportunity, right, to grow and to become the best version of yourself. Like if you lived a very happy, fun, free, just awesome life would be pretty fucking boring. Believe me, it would. Life would be really, really boring. There'd be nothing to be fully grateful for, even though you might think you would be, now. But that's just because, you have lived, the good ups and downs in life so far. But just think from now to the rest of your life, it was like, woo, 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 you're going to forget what it feels like. And I feel like to become the best version of yourself and to grow to that next level, you have to have certain things like obstacles in your way. So, I think the zero risk bias is a really bad way to go about and live your life. I feel like if you have to take these chances and you have to take these leaps to get to the next level, right? So the next thing would be the confirmation bias, and that's where you usually agree with things that go with your preconceptions. Okay, so going back onto if you should stay with this guy, right? A lot of people would usually be like, yeah, I'm going to stay with this guy because he's this, he's that, he's yada yada yada. And I liked him before. I don't want people to think I'm stupid for going back to him and making a bad decision. Okay, like you usually had this outlook on him first. You thought he was a great guy. He was this, he was that, but then he turned out not to be that way. But you don't want to see this. You want to see that. Okay, and that's your biased opinion. You're very biased towards that just because you don't want to be wrong. Humans have this big, crazy thing nowadays where if you're wrong or if you fail at something, it's the end of the world. You're gonna die and you're gonna be back at stage one and this and that. Man, fuck that shit, man. You gotta fail. You gotta make some mistakes. Hey, if you're not making mistakes, you're not failing, then you ain't living life. I'm telling you all the time. Take it from somebody who's filming this in my car with my phone. Right now, of course, I can do it at home. It's just much easier in my car because I'm always driving. I'm always on the move. I'm always out working out, going on a walk. Like I'm at a park right now. I'm about to go walk. So it's just much easier for me to always do it in my car because I'm always on the move. Then when I'm back home and there's noise outside or someone rings the doorbell, whatever it is. Okay, it's just a pain in the ass. So and the last thing, of course, would be the like versus unlike bias. And this is where when you usually like somebody or you try to like somebody, you usually only try to find the good. Sorry. You usually only try to find the good in that person and you completely ignore the bad. Whereas, and vice versa, if you dislike somebody, you're only going to look for the bad things and ignore the good. Okay, and this happens all the time in politics, right? You see it all the time right now with Sanders and Trump and stuff like that. People will flip back and forth on good, bad, good versus evil, like, dislike, with all these kind of things. But both sides have good, in my opinion, have good things, and both sides have bad things. But of course, when you're on one of those sides, the side you like, you're only going to go for the good things. You're going to ignore the bad things. You're going to completely ignore the bad things. And I think when it comes to relationships, and it comes to wondering if you're going to... God damn, my voice, man. Hold on. I don't even know what is with my voice right now, man. Of course, Diet Coke heals everything, right? But where was I? When it comes to relationships, if you like somebody or you're trying to like somebody, you're only going to figure out or think of the good things. You're only going to think of the things that are going to go back to your confirmation bias. Like, no, he was good in the first place. He was really nice, right? So I'm only help me get back into that stage, or us back into that stage, or make everything good again. I'm only going to think happy, positive thoughts. I'm only going to think of all the good things he's done for me and completely ignore the bad. That's my confirmation bias. That's my preconception of him, and that's what I'm sticking with, right? Because I like him. No, that's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. Just as I said before, going back with the blind spot bias, you have to literally sit back and just chill. You have to draw a line and write the pros and the cons, okay? You can't just sit there and be like, it depends on either, or it happens on both sides, right? Like, just because, like with the blind spot bias, just because you're on one side doesn't, or the other side actually, like just because you don't want to be with him doesn't mean you're not biased. You're still biased towards that opinion, and that might mean you're not giving him a chance. So you have to look at both sides. Both sides are important. Okay, so with that being said, I love you guys. Make sure you have a clear mind. You're sitting back, you're relaxing, you're chilling. you know, you have, don't let the zero risk bias kind of tie you down. Don't let confirmation biases turn you down. Don't let the like and dislike bias turn you, or you know, sit you down, keep you where you're at. Make sure to chill, sit back, keep an open mind. Don't let the blind spot bias you know, keep you on one side. You have to keep an open mind and figure out you know, what you need. Again, sit back, draw a line, write the pros and cons, and just see what happens. Okay, with that being said, I love you guys. Peace.